Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a super quick but lots of tips and tricks tutorial on this look right here. It is a like a icy blue turquoise glitter wing cut crease. Yeah, I did keep the crease soft because I wanted the focus to be on the lid and the wing. So I used all budget friendly products, as you guys will see, and I used a very few. I used the Hoola bronzer as always as my transition shade. I used the little Morphe 3B palette, which is like $6. And I used the Tutti Frutti, the Too Faced Tutti Frutti glitter liquid eyeshadow in the shade Ice Queen to create the wing. Very, very budget friendly and just a easy all-around look. So if you guys want to see how I created this look, then just keep watching. If you guys like the video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you guys will be notified of all of my future uploads. And without further ado, let's just get into this tutorial. Okay, so I went ahead and primed my eyes. I used MAC's Paint Pot and Soft Ochre, and then I set that primer with some translucent powder. I have also went ahead and created my fake crease and mapped out the shape of the cut crease look that I'm going for. Now, if you want a winged out shape, then you would want to create your fake crease in a winged fashion. I am doing this shape, so, and this is pretty much what I always do. I'm going to be using this palette. This is the Morphe 3B nude palette, and I'm going to take this middle shade, and I'm just going to kind of walk you guys through what I do. Once you get used to drawing the crease, this literally now takes me 2 seconds. But I like to sit there and fiddle faddle with it and look at it and make sure that I got the shape that I want, make sure that they're even on both sides, which is always fun. So I pretty much start the same way all the time. I look straight ahead and I place a little dot right on the hood of the eye skin fold, and I do that right in the center, kind of where the pupil is. And this fake crease is going to be about 2 to 3 millimeters above your natural crease, and you want to be able to see it when your eyes are open and you're looking straight ahead, because if you put the shadows in your natural crease when you open your eyes and look straight ahead, they're going to be hidden underneath the hood of the eye. So I start on the inside and I just take it up until it meets that little center dot right there, and then I take it down. And this is the shape that I like on myself. So this is the shape that I pretty much create all the time. You also want to make sure that they're even. I'm going to start with my transition shade, and I'm using the Hoola bronzer and a MAC 224 for this. And I think I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to start by placing the color down, and I like most of my shading on the inner corner, so I'm going to pretty much start like in the middle and towards the front. And I'm going to bring this down to the nose. I'm going to kind of work in this little nose contour area here, and then as I get out here, I'm going to feather this out towards the temple because I've got some bronzer out there, and I always use the same bronzer that I have on my face, and I always use a bronzer. All right, I'm gonna go back in one more time and just kind of deepen it up. Today's focus is going to be solely on the glitter wing, so I want to keep everything really, really light through the crease so that the focus is just on the glitter wing. But I'm going to deepen this up just a little bit, and I'm going to go back in. I'm going to concentrate most of my shading on the inner corner and feather it out towards the temple at the end. I always like to throw a little bronzer down here on the side of my nose so that it kind of all connects. And then I'm going to take this JH36. I'm going to go into this ivory shade here in this bronze palette, and I'm just going to kind of buff out that transition shade so that it's nice and airy up in here. So I'm kind of doing two things. I'm using it as a blending tool shade, and I'm also putting in some brow bone shade and kind of blending out the edges of the transition shade. Okay, on a M441, I'm going to go into this 3B palette right here, and I'm going to pick up this shade right here, kind of natural. It's the brown shade, and I'm going to be using this simply because it's really close to the bronzer shade, and I just want to add a little bit more depth. You know, I want just a little kind of a deeper. The bronzer really warms it up, and now I want to kind of go in and deepen it up a little bit. So I'm not going to take this as high as the transition shade. I'm going to keep it pretty much close to the fake crease that I created. And I do like to raise my brows and kind of lean back a little bit so that I can really see that socket line, because if you take a really good look at your socket line, it's sort of like a guide, and it'll kind of tell you where to place your shadow. So I use that literally as my guide. I look for that socket line and I get in there and I kind of follow the fake crease that I created right in that socket. So it's not as high as the transition shade. The other thing you can do if you don't like to lean back or raise your brows is you can just gently lift up, like in the center of your eye, and that really kind of helps you also to see that socket line. You can see that shadow. For me, it's pretty much defined. I can kind of see it, right? I can see where I need to go. So that really also helps a lot. The M433 for this step. You can also use a MAC 217, which I use a lot, or a Sigma E25. They're all very, very similar. I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is Velvet. This is the shade that I created my fake crease with. And I'm going to run these shadows now along my lower lash line. And if you remember the fake crease that we put in the beginning, if you take these shadows and you start on the outer, like on the outer third, I guess, and just take it straight up, you will connect with that fake crease that you created. So you can take it up and then you can bring it in, and then you can also hit your outer lash line there. So kind of have a little outer V moment if you like. I'm going to hit the outer V a little bit, and I'm just going to drag this upwards, and it will connect right at the tip of that fake crease that you created. Crease with a little bit more of this shade. I'm going to go. All right, so I'm going to go back into this Velvet shade now, and I'm going to deepen up that fake crease line that I created. And it's right there. So I'm just going to lightly go right on top of the fake crease line. I'm also going to go down to my lower lash line here. I'm going to take it up and connect it with the fake crease that I created. Once I have done that, kind of connected it, kind of brought a little bit of little shading out here, taken it in. And once I have that, then I'm going to go back into that first brown in this palette and the last brush that I was using, and go right on top of that, just so that they all kind of mesh together. And then I'm going to go back in with the first transition shade, which was the bronzer, and the very first brush, which is the MAC 224. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of bronzer up on top, dust a little bit out here, and then I'm going to grab my blending brush and make sure that they are all just kind of meshing. So I'm just going to sit back here and blend. All right, so I'm going to do a teal glitter wing, but I'm going to create the wing using this brown shadow. You can use a black if you like, it doesn't matter because we're gonna go over it with teal, some glitter, but I wanted to just stick with one palette today instead of like grabbing like 5,000. And I didn't want to use like a really costly brush, so I'm gonna just use this e.l.f. because this is, I just want to show you guys that it can be done with this. Now, if you have hooded or downturned eyes, this is just what I have found works for me. This may not work for everybody, but this is the easiest way for me to create a little baby wing because I have hooded eyes. Now, you can take the wing out as far as, if you have hooded eyes, as far as you're able to. I'm going to do kind of not a big wing, but a little bit larger than like a little baby wing because we are going to do some glitter. So I'm going to start from my lower lash line, and the same way that I brought up the shadow and then connected it to the fake crease line to kind of create a little like rectangle type shape and to get that little outer V, the same thing I'm going to act from the lower lash line, and I'm just going to take this straight up. And I'm just going to draw my line out like that. So it looks like it's kind of extending out from the lower lash line. And then I'm going to just bring it in. So it's going to look something like this. I'm going to kind of bring it straight in at an angle, and then I am just going to fill it in. And I'm going to make sure that it's even. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And then we're going to be back and we're going to do the middle and the inner corner a totally different way. So I'm going to use an affordable brush today. I have a Morphe one. I have this Makeup Forever one, but I'm going to use this one. This is a Lamora one. It's just a flat definer brush. And I'm going to run this brown shade now from the middle of like where the wing stopped all the way, take it to the inner corner, and I'm just going to pretty much like stamp it, I guess. I mean, I'm going to run it along there, but I'm going to kind of press it in to the root of the lash line. And I'm going to take this a little bit higher than just the root of the lash line because we're doing a glitter wing and I want the glitter to have a little bit of thickness to it. Otherwise, if I were just doing like a, yeah, I guess I would probably have it right about here. Yeah. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more now of that deep brown shade on this Lamora flat definer brush, and I'm going to run that on the lower lash line, but only on the bottom, like half really. I'm going to make sure that it connects with my wing. And then I'm going to smoke it out, take a little tiny bit on this pencil brush. So I had to search all over for this. This is an old Makeup Geek palette, custom one that I put together, some shadows that I liked. And I'm going to use the Shimma Shimma shade. This was really popular back in the day. And I'm going to just place this right on the inner corner and also take it up about halfway. Just trying to decide if I should take it all the way or just do half. I've been doing a lot of like outer V. I've been doing a lot of, not like really deep smoky V's, but like where I have some shading, you know, on the outer part of my lid. And then I've been doing kind of a bright inner corner. So I was like, should I do that or should I take it all the way? I think I'm going to take it all the way. I'm going to take it into my inner corner, but I'm going to use like a powder for that. I kind of touched up the liner, and now I'm grabbing a little bit of my Holy Grail Old School Max Nylon. I know I'm so old school on everything. And I'm going to pop this in the inner corner, and I'm going to drag it up a little bit just for a little bit more pop. Use this, I think on my Instagram. This is the Tutti Frutti Glitter Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Ice Queen. It's a stunning turquoise sea blue, and I think that it's going to be a little thick for, so I've got this little tiny, it's like a dip in if I need to. I need to grab a bigger mirror for this. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace the outline of the wing that I created here. So this is working good. I just wanted to show you guys this real quick before I go any further. I took this little tiny liner brush and I just dipped it in, and I'm kind of sharpening up the wing out here and just reshaping it because that other brush is just like a little too thick. So I was just adding to get the point, a tip right there. And I also put a tiny bit on the lower lash line, kind of on the inside of the other highlight. Alrighty, let me check this out here. Ooh, I like it. I do. It is so pretty. I hope the camera's picking up how beautiful it is. All right, this is it. That completes the video. Hopefully it was a lot shorter today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Mwah! I love you guys. I will see you in my next one. Bye.